What's up, everybody? My name is David Warren. Welcome back. In this week's video, we are talking about the top 10 highest paid nurses. Number 1 is going to probably surprise you. Let's start. Number 10 is a critical care nurse. I have my phone here with my list. Number 10 is a critical care nurse. Now, before you start balking at that, we have a little baggage to unpack with this. So number 10 is coming in at $79,000. And I know before you turn off this video, there are plenty of you critical care nurses out there who make more than $79,000. And that's interesting because as a travel critical care nurse, you can make 6 figures. I know a lot of people who do it. However, this is kind of standard across the line. You're gainfully employed at a hospital and you're making $79,000. That's median. Again, there are some that are less than that, there are some that are more, but critical care nurse is coming in at number 10. Number 9 is going to be your nurse educator. Nurse educator, they begin at $83,000. That's also surprising to me. And I think there are 2 things to say about this. So kind of 2 subsets of nursing education. The first, of course, being a college professor. That's probably accurate, around $83,000. I've taught adjunct at a BSN program, and full-time is probably around $83,000. So that's not entirely unreasonable. The second subset of that is being an educator in a hospital setting. So being like the ICU educator or the emergency department educator, working with a hospital system. With that, you're probably not going to quite make $83,000. But I think standard across the board, I keep flipping my little thing up and down. I have to like hide those. $83,000 kind of across the board. So whether you're in academic education or true nursing education is what I would think of in like a hospital setting. All right, number 8, nursing informatics. They are coming in at $98,000. And I will say this is like a huge up and coming area. If I had any advice to anybody, it would probably be to do something in informatics because that is ginormous. These big hospital systems who have Epic or who have Cerner or whatever other flavor of EHR that there is out there, informatics is massive. And if there is some way into healthcare to make money and to not do patient care, it is informatics, hands down. And so if you are a nurse and you're considering going back to school, I would highly suggest that you look at nursing informatics, at least give it a good once over and see if that's something that you could do, because I think you have to be good, obviously, at technology, but then you also have to be good at EHR and like integrating that into clinical practice, et cetera, et cetera. So nursing informatics, $98,000, that's good. Still not quite up there to the 6-digit salary, and I think there's room to grow on that. So I know nursing informaticists who make well over 6 figures, and they travel, they work for either a hospital corporation or they work through an EHR system. So they work through Epic or they work through Cerner or eClinicalWorks, whatever flavor of EHR you have. They have nursing informaticists that will go in and like integrate that system into a hospital. And so nursing informatics is really big. And so again, if you're a nurse and you want to go into something besides clinical practice, look into nursing informatics. That's my advice to you. All right, number 7, RNFA, or Registered Nurse First Assist. They're coming in at $96,000. That's not really that surprising. So the RNFA specialty is not something that's really talked about because RNFAs are not advanced practice nurses. They're not like clinical nurse specialists. They're not just bedside nurses. They have additional training, but in like the surgical specialty. And so first assist, you will be in surgery with a surgeon being literally the first assist. A lot of that has to do with your surgeon. So your job duties, what you do, et cetera, will be based on the surgeon or the group that you work with. And so I actually interviewed a while back for a surgical position, and I don't have my RNFA, but had I taken this job, I would have to go back and get my RNFA. And so it's pretty rare to see just RNFA by itself. A lot of the times you will see like nurse practitioners go back for their RNFA or something like that. And so that's pretty big in like cardiothoracic surgery. Most all of their acute care nurse practitioners are first assist, and they will go in and first assist in surgery. They'll do vein harvesting on the cabbage. They will retract, they'll close. I'm not an RNFA, so I can't tell you all the odds and ends of that, but that's just some of the stuff that was explained to me and some of the stuff that I've seen in practice as well. So RNFAs, you're going to be first assisting, you're going to be doing a lot of suturing. So in my acute care nurse practitioner program, there was an option to get the RNFA certification. I opted not to do that because at the time I was like, I want to work emergency medicine. I'm not going to be in surgery. So I opted not to do that. However, it would be a good certification to have if you see yourself in like cardiothoracic surgery or general surgery, trauma surgery, any of these surgical specialties. You're going to need your RNFA because you're going to be expected to go into the OR. And so what I was going to say, in my acute care program, we had to learn some advanced suturing techniques, and we had to learn to tie sutures with our hands. And there's all these, I can't do it anymore, but it's like magic tricks where you twisting the stuff around and you end up tying a suture. And I could do that at one point in time. I get checked off on it, but I don't tie sutures with my hands. I do instrument ties in the emergency department. Those of you providers out there, you know the difference between an instrument tie and a hand tie. So RNFA, you're going to do a whole lot more suturing. You're going to learn a lot of suture techniques, and you're going to be really good at suturing because you're going to be doing a lot of closing and a lot of suturing after the surgeon gets done doing the actual operation part. So I hope that makes sense. All right, number six is a nurse consultant. They're coming in at $99,000. Nurse consultant coming in at $99,000. That's interesting because the nurse consultant will kind of spans a whole bunch of different specialties. So there's like a legal nurse consultant, somebody that's like preparing legal files for attorneys. If you work with like the Joint Commission, there are nurse consultants that do that will go around with the Joint Commission and make sure hospitals are in compliance. There are nurse consultants for nursing homes. So the nursing consultant is just like very wide, big picture. Those are the types of jobs you would do with nurse consultants. So about as close as I've come to that is being an expert witness for medical malpractice suits. That's kind of counts as a nurse consultant. Again, not something you do full-time. That's more of like on an as-needed basis. So there are nurse consultants that practice full-time. I can't offer a whole lot of information in regards to that just because that's like all across the playing field. So legal issues, talking to like nursing homes about being in like state compliance, working with the Joint Commission, again, things like that is what you would think of with like a nurse consultant. All right, number 5, we're getting into the top 5 now. Nurse administrator coming in at $101,000, a nurse administrator. And again, this is kind of broad different categories of this. Nursing administration, you can be like a manager, a director. With these nursing administration roles, I'm thinking more of like upper level senior management, chief nursing officer, working at like a nursing home, being the director of nurses, being the director of like a specialty service with a big hospital corporation, things like that. They're coming in at $101,000. And again, that's probably median salary. So there are probably some directors and managers who make less than that. But there are probably some senior level, some big hospital corporation that makes maybe $200,000 or $300,000. So $101,000 is kind of like middle of the road, general, median type stuff. So $101,000. Number 4, this was really surprising to me, and that is a NICU nurse. So this doesn't fall under critical care because NICU is just so specialized, and they are coming in at $102,000. So number 4, NICU nurse, $102,000. If there are any of you NICU nurses watching this channel, I don't know if that's a thing or not because most of my stuff does not deal with neonatal anything. If you're a NICU nurse and you're watching this and you are like ballsy enough to do this, comment below, let me know what you make. I'm interested to know if $102,000 is for real because that's really good. That's like the highest paid nurse, bedside nursing, clinical nursing specialty, I would think, $102,000. Again, NICU nursing, highly specialized. That's like a world of its own. And so I know on my channel, I mainly deal with nurse practitioner type stuff. I haven't really put anything out about a neonatal nurse practitioner just because I don't really know that much about it. That's not something that I really do. So if you are in the neonatal world, I would love to chat with you. Comment below. Let me know, again, if you're willing, let me know your salary, what you make. If you're a neonatal nurse practitioner, comment below. I'd love to get in touch with you. That's an interesting specialty, something that I haven't really taken a dive into on this channel. But if you guys want that, I would certainly do it. So NICU nurse coming in at $102,000. All right, top three. Number three, a nurse midwife. Nurse midwife, they're ringing in at $109,000. That's interesting because at the hospital where I practice, there's a big OB service, and I talk to the OBs pretty frequently, at least once a week if I'm working, 3 shifts a week. And there are midwives that work inside the hospital. And that was interesting when I rang them up the other day. The girl was like, "Oh, hey, I'm so-and-so, I'm the midwife." And I was like, "Oh, that's really cool." So yeah, nursing midwives, and I'll tell you a little bit about that. The nursing midwife profession is pretty interesting. You think of mainly these midwives practicing outside in rural America or in their little home birthing section, but there are midwives that work in the hospital. They do the uncomplicated deliveries. I think there are certain restrictions on what they can and can't do. They cannot do C-sections. They can do uncomplicated vaginal deliveries. I think if it gets complicated or there's high risk situations in the OBGYN, the physician has to be involved in that. But overall, midwives, $109,000, not a bad option. If you are a midwife, I don't know why a midwife would be watching this channel, but if you are a midwife, thank you for watching. Comment below. Tell me more about your experience. I'd love to hear about that. All right, I can only imagine what you're thinking. The top 2 positions. What do you think number 1 and number 2 are? Number 2 is a nurse practitioner. Guess what? I happen to know a little bit about that. Nurse practitioner ringing in $112,000. That's 2020 updated data, kind of across the board, $112,000. That's surprising, actually. I've had a lot to say about nurse practitioner salary. I'm going to link some videos up here somewhere. I'm not sure where my finger's pointing about nurse practitioner salary. Take a look at those. That gives you a little more in detail description about nurse practitioner salaries. 112 is probably good. That's average across the board, across all specialties, across family practice, critical care, emergency medicine, specialties, so GI, cardiothoracic, et cetera, et cetera. Your lower paid nurse practitioner specialties are going to be more outpatient, so urgent care, family medicine, pediatrics, etc. Your more heavily compensated specialties are going to be inside the hospital. So emergency medicine probably being number 1. That tends to be the highest paid nurse practitioner specialty. And then your specialty services, so pulmonary critical care, cardiothoracic surgery, cardiology, anything hospitalist, anything inside the hospital, you're gonna make a little bit more. So 112,000, I think that is definitely on point. That's good, 112,000. All right, number 1, you probably guessed it. CRNA, 181,000. And stay tuned. I've got some more information coming out about CRNA specialty. CRNAs make about 181,000 across the board. That is really good money. I'm not going to delve too deep into CRNA because there's more coming on this, so stay tuned. Just a little hint. 181,000, that's good. Nurse anesthetists, they will provide anesthesia across the lifespan to anybody in any situation. So general surgery, obstetrics, outpatient sedation, whatever, anesthesia, CRNA's got you covered, 181,000. So comment below. Let me know if you have any questions about this. Again, if you are a NICU nurse, a midwife, or a neonatal nurse practitioner, I especially want to hear from you. You let yourself be known below and I will get in touch with you. Thank you for watching this week's video, and I'll see you next time.